So I was on TikTok, like one does, and I saw this book on there called Dangerous Secrets by Mara Menkusi. Probably said her last name wrong. So listen. So stupid. So the thing is, I always want to be a reader. Like, so many people want to read. I want to be one of those people who are like, oh, what are you reading? Oh, I'm reading this book. But like, I've always had a problem with reading. Not that I didn't like reading necessarily. It's just that it was so hard for me to find a book that I liked. And it was also just hard for me to keep my attention. I couldn't read for that long. I still am like not a good reader. So basically, I'm trying to learn how to read. This sounds so sad. I'm freaking 20 years old. But like, I feel like I say my age in every single video. I don't know why. But yeah, so as a 20-year-old, I get like upset that I can't really read that well, like most people can. So that's why I decided to get a book that I saw from this Disney author named, I forgot her name again, Marie McConaughey, because she writes, again, Disney books from like movies you've already seen, but they're for adults, technically. They're like adult, like full-length novels. And so she recommended this one that she wrote called Dangerous Secrets, which is supposed to be a prequel to Frozen about how Anna and Elsa's parents met. And again, that seems really interesting to me, but the main reason I wanted to get it is because, again, I'm trying to learn how to be a better and stronger reader, not just like actually reading wise, but comprehension, to comprehend books. So that's why I decided to get this book, because since I already seen Frozen and I have a better idea of the story, I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, you know, I already kind of know some of the characters and the story, and it's probably easier to understand. So yeah, I got this book, and she basically warned us a bunch of times saying this is probably like the saddest book she ever written, and it's really depressing. She also just recommends like read this with a box of tissues. So I'm gonna go over this book in case you guys want to. This is my first book review. I just finished it. It took me 3 months to finish. See what I told you guys? I'm a bad reader. I cannot read. It took me 3 months to finish. I started reading this on Christmas Day because I got this on Christmas. And it is now March 8th. So it took me that long to read this book, and it's really not that big. Like, this book is literally like only like 300 pages or something. Like, that's like normal for like a novel. So anyway, without further ado, I'm just gonna review this book in case you guys want to check it out. Because again, if you were a Frozen fan when Frozen came out and you kind of want to relive the nostalgia, but you kind of grew out of the movies like I did, this is a good book. It's good. It's for like older teens, adults kind of thing, so you might like it. Here we go. So first, I'm just gonna again show you what the book looks like up close. And basically at the end, or the back, it says, what happens when you have everything to lose, but even more to gain. Interesting. I'm going to be reading the summary for you. 16-year-old Aduna harbors a dark secret. On the surface, she is Arendelion's village girl, an aspiring inventor, and the best friend of Prince Agnar, but she is also secretly Nithaldra. Ever since the day the forest fell, Arendelians had despised and distrusted Nithaldra with a vengeance. No matter what, the Nithaldras, along with some of Arendel's own, have been trapped in the enchanted forest behind an impenetrable wall of mist since the day of the battle. Aduna doesn't know why the mist refused to part, or why it descended to begin with. The only clear thing is that she must keep her identity a secret from everyone, even Agnar. Her life depends on it. Fortunately for her, Agnar doesn't know that Aduna is the Nithaldra girl he saw seemingly flying in the gust of wind all those years ago. The days of the celebration turned to disaster. The day Agnar lost his father, the king. The day Agnar himself almost died. What Agnar does know is that Aduna is the true ally in the face of his royal responsibilities and the expectations of an overbearing council and a well-meaning regent who will rule in Agnar's place until he turns 21 and assumes the Arendelian throne. As Aduna and Agnar grow even closer, however, friendship is no longer enough. If only falling for each other didn't mean risking their futures. Aduna's as a hidden in plain sight, citizen of Arendelle, and Agnar's enemies and prince. But for a chance of true love, they risk might be worth taking. Again, I'm not a good reader. Sorry if that was horrible. That was a really long summary. So basically the story starts with how Frozen begins, with the parents basically dying in the boat wreck. And basically the whole story is like a flashback of them reimagining their lives. And this is one of those like forbidden love tropes. Like there is a friends to lover, forbidden love tropes, like, oh, Prince Agnar can't marry Aduna because she's not a princess, so they try to arrange a marriage. So basically, they mentioned this in Frozen 2, but basically, Aduna saves Prince Agnar when there was a battle in the Enchanted Forest before the mist came and kind of blocked out Arendelle and Nutholja. So there was a mist that kind of blocked between the Enchanted Forest and that. So basically, she saves him, but she doesn't know, or he doesn't know, that Aduna is the person who actually saved him all those years ago, until they were like almost close to dying, basically. So they of course have like a very cute, innocent love relationship. Again, this book is easy to understand, it has lots of turns, and the book is back and forth between Agnar and Aduna's point of view. There's no other point of views in this book. It's just the both of them point of view, kind of going back and forth. And so you also get to see the beginning of Elsa and Anna when they were little, like stuff you didn't get to see in the movie. You get to see baby Elsa and her first power she uses. We also get to see like toddler Anna as well, so that's very cute. And they also explain, not to spoil it that much because I don't want to spoil it too much, but they also explained where exactly they were going to, like before the boat wreck. And I'll give you a hint. Yes, it has something to do with Elsa. So their heart was in it for the right reasons. And so basically they knew that they were going to die when the boat crashed. So, But anyway, I love how Aduna and Agnar's characters were written. I think they have a very good dilemma. They also show the trolls in this book. They show like their first interaction with the trolls. That's why in the first movie, when Anna gets shot in the head, you see Prince Agnar, or King Agnar at that point, you see King Agnar being like, I know where we have to go, and then they go to the trolls. So this book also shows like why they go to the trolls and how they know the trolls is helpful, and know they're all wisdom, and also like, I don't know, like they're the masters of love for some reason. I don't know that. I really don't know. So again, this book is really cute. They show different sides, they show different characters that aren't in the books, that aren't in the movies. And they basically just show, of course, them falling in love. There's some complications, but like, I'm gonna not lie, this book gets kind of steamy sometimes. That's why they recommend this book for like young adults, because there's some stuff in this book that like wouldn't be in the movies. I'm not talking about smut or anything. There's no smut, there's no like sex scenes or anything. But there is like some make-out scenes. There's some like really intense like touching, like like touching the waist and the butt, like kind of stuff like that. And again, there's some like steamy like make-out scenes, like I said before. But again, nothing too graphic. If you're an adult or even a teenager, this should be fine. Like honestly, it wasn't that bad. But the one thing I will say that was kind of negative is that I feel like the ending of this book definitely was kind of anticlimactic, even though I knew how it was going to end, because I knew it was how they died in the original movie. So I know it wasn't like too crazy or anything, but it was like, the ending was, again, not to spoil it too much in case you guys want to read this, but the ending really wasn't about like, because after this whole book, after you see how desperately in love Agnar and Aduna was, I thought the ending was going to be more emotional, and it was going to be more about like how they were sad and how they were like were still in love and all that kind of stuff. I feel like the ending was really rushed. Like there's no graphic details about what really happened. It was just kind of like them saying their goodbyes because they kind of knew they were going to die sort of situation, while also picturing Anna and Elsa's like future like without them, which is sad, I won't lie. But again, I just feel like it was kind of rushed. We didn't get to see Agnar's point of view. We only get to see from Meduna's. So I thought that was kind of like But also, fun fact, if you guys listen to this on Audible, the voice of Aduna from Frozen, she actually reads the audio book, which I think was pretty cool. And people really recommend reading the audiobook. I heard that it's really good. I didn't read it because like I don't have Audible. By the way, this video is sponsored by Audible. I'm kidding. So yeah, again, I found this on TikTok. You could go follow her if you want. This is who she is. You could go follow her. She's fun. And while I'm on the topic, since I don't want to get this whole thing away, so if I wanted to rank this book, I probably would give it like a 7 out of 10. Because again, it's good. It's good. It's a good beginner book when you're not a strong reader, but you kind of wanted to start reading, like me. So it's good when it comes to that. No crazy wording. It's not hard to understand. It's pretty easygoing. But it has a compelling storyline besides just like, besides just like their love story. It also has like side plots to it too. They have like a second storyline. They have like, another thing they're trying to do, while it's also a forbidden love trope, so kind of all of them mixed together. And again, they kind of go into Frozen 1 a little bit as well, so you kind of get to see like their sides of things, so you kind of get to see what they were doing before Elsa shot Anna in the head. So I thought that was kind of neat to see their point of view. So about this book as well, there's actually 3 other books. I didn't read them yet, so I probably will review them here when I get to read them. But basically, there's actually 3 other books that are based on like this like storyline, if you know what I mean. I'll get them. So this is the line of books. Again, I haven't read any of them. It's gonna probably take me a year to read them all. Even though I didn't ask for some of these books, I'm still grateful that I got them from my mom. But again, I think there was like one book that I didn't really ask for, but again, I'm gonna check it out because like might as well, I have it. So again, this is the first book. I just read this, which is of course a prequel to Frozen, which is of course by Mara McCarthy, in case you want to check it out. So the second book I just started reading, which is called A Frozen Heart. So basically, this book is, it's supposed to be the entire first Frozen, but it changes from point of views of Anna and Hans, which I find pretty interesting, not gonna lie. I find that pretty cool because like, Hans is kind of a complex villain because he's not the kind of villain who's like, I mean, yes, he's evil, but he's not like one that's like ugly, disgusting. Like he's kind of like charming, and he was so close to being with Anna. So I thought that was kind of cool. I don't know how like interesting this book's gonna be because I already read it, and it's like scenes you already know because they're from the first Frozen. So I don't know how interesting this book's gonna be. This is the one I didn't really ask for, but again, I'm gonna check it out. And you could also see my toothless thing I made. My toothless bookmark. Love it. So yeah, and this is also from a different author. It's from Elizabeth Rudnick. I think she's also on TikTok. So that's that one. And of course this one is probably the longest of the franchise, or whatever this is. But it's Frozen 2 called Forest of Shadows. And this is also from a different author called Camilla Benko. Not good with names. But apparently, this takes place between Frozen 1 and Frozen 2. So, again, this one seems kind of like complicated to explain, but it comes with a map inside. Pretty interesting. So again, this one's kind of complicated to explain, but it's basically just like another adventure. It's basically like if there's kind of like another movie before we know what happens in Frozen 2. It's kind of about adventure that like, I think Elsa gets in trouble and they have to go save her. All the original characters in it, not including Hans, I don't believe. But again, these are all the books are recommended in order. It's this one first, this one second, this one next, because this one takes place, after the first one, before the second one. So I'm kind of excited for this one. I didn't really know what this one entailed exactly, because I just never really heard of this one that much. But yeah. And so the next one I'm actually pretty excited because this one just came out. This one is called Polar Nights. Fun. Polar Nights Cast into Darkness. This is basically takes place after Frozen 1 and Frozen 2. And I heard that this one will be kind of like a little scary, a little gruesome, a little spooky. I think it's about like a new threat that kind of comes to Arendelle or something. Basically, it's supposed to be like, you know, how Anna's the queen and Elsa's like the new whatever. She's in the Enchanted Forest somewhere. There's like that going on. And basically, and also this one is also written by another author called Jen Kalinina and Mara McCasey, which is of course the author of this one. So this one just came out recently, and I'm kind of excited for this one because this one seems pretty interesting. I also love how it looks on the inside. It's like, So this one seems pretty interesting. I really love the cover. It's like really cool. I honestly really love this cover. But I'm excited to read this one. I think it's about zombies or something that like steals people's memories or something. And I don't know, that seems really cool. It's something because I heard there's going to be a Frozen 3 coming out. And I really hope it's based off of something like this, because that would be so cool. I would love to see that. So that would be really exciting. So that's really it on like this book without giving too much away, because I don't want to be that person who just like gives the entire book away, unless you want it, of course. But yeah, so I give this one a 7 out of 10. Again, really easy to read, really simple, but it's also good if you want to read a novel. It's also good for Frozen fans. It's good to kind of see the in-depth. And honestly, I freaking ship Aduna and Agnar so much after this book. Like, they are such a cute couple. They might be even better than Kristoff and Anna, in my opinion. Because they met for so long. It was almost like love at first sight with these people. I thought it was so cute. So honestly, knowing that they died at the beginning of the first movie makes this like 10 times sadder, not gonna lie. So that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys enjoy. I will make some reviews after I'm done with these, but don't hold it to me because it's probably gonna take me a year to finish. Not gonna lie. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.